Welcome back to the Glint Standard. Today we're going to be talking about explaining the credit union's value. So joining us today we have Trevor, works at Prestige Credit Union, Trevor Cormier, and you're bringing a youthful marketing perspective into credit unions, and I'm trying to, part of what our job is too as an agency working with you is how do we explain the value of what you bring to the table? How are you different than a bank? Really moving the needle. I mean, that's what marketing's about. It's changed a lot just over the last 5 years, 10 years. You know, if you really start to go back, it's changed a whole lot from when I started, maybe. So you start to get into that, and you talk about. Let's talk a little bit about what really makes a credit union different than, say, a bank.
For sure.
For as an example.
Obviously, to state the obvious, we are a nonprofit and we're member owned. So, whenever a member comes to us, we really try to listen to what their needs are. We're not just there to sell something. We obviously, we do have sales goals, but we aren't, hey, this member needs to get this auto loan because they mentioned that they're, needing an auto loan. We really want what's best for them, and kind of, we're going to give them different options too. Let's say they come to us with, they got financing approved from the dealership and the financing is better than what we're offering at the credit union. We're going to tell them to go with that. We're not just going to say, hey, you should go with us because we're the credit union and we know
that's a
best.
really good point. Actually, I have a story from working with the credit union past on the auto loan thing as well. And one of the great things that wouldn't happen with a bank, rates matter. I think comfort and ease matters a lot too.
For sure.
So I would always go, like my wife hated car shopping. She's not a big fan of auto dealership, just period.
Yeah.
I would get a car, take it home, she'd drive around the block. I don't like it. I do like it. I'm like, great. I take it back, whatever it is. But we would go to the credit union first and get our pre-approval. And we did that so often, you would just call, and the lady's name we dealt with, her name was Gail. And she, okay, what do you need? Has anything changed on your side financially? I'm like, no. She's like, okay, well, get me the backups. I would like to surprise Jamie with a car sometimes too. She doesn't like shopping. She doesn't really care about nice things, but I like to have nice things too.
For sure,
right?
for sure.
It's just the cool thing. So anyway, I'm getting way off topic here. But anyway, the pre-approved, she goes, go. What budget range are you thinking? What kind of car? Because you're going to be fine there. So everything's good. This will be what your rate's going to be. Just walk in and find the car, test drive it. When you're done, just give them, this piece of paper, tell them to call us and walk out. You don't have to stand there. You don't have to go through finance, and it's simple, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's that member benefit side, and people I don't think really understand. When you say we have members, that is different than a customer.
For sure.
You actually own a part of the credit union, and that's such a unique and different way to think about what you're doing,
Exactly.
right? I think that ties a little bit too, maybe you can expound on this, tell me if I'm wrong, where it's authenticity. People want to be a part of a company they believe in.
Absolutely.
Like the people.
For sure. And that's kind of the whole credit union philosophy is people helping people. We don't want someone extremely salesy. Kind of like what I mentioned earlier, like we don't want to just sell stuff. We want someone who will make a genuine connection with our members, and then after that connection or relationship is established, then that's whenever we go in and be like, okay, what are you needing? What are you looking for? Here's what we can offer, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, and it removes like the shareholder dividends. We have to sell so many products. I mean, like you said, there are sales goals, don't get me wrong, but you're also member owned.
Exactly.
You have a board of directors. Like, you basically work for the member.
Yeah.
Versus
exactly.
the members coming to you and you're taking all the profit and doing all this. The profits returned back to the members at the end of the year. It's a whole different mentality that I don't think a lot of people understand.
For sure. Kind of going off of that profit thing, like the profit that we do make, I don't think people realize that that profit is invested back into them. So that's how we can offer checking accounts with no fees. That's how we can offer low rates to our members. That's how we are able to go into the community and do big sponsorships, and do community engagements and stuff like that. So not a lot of people realize that, and I think that's extremely important for people, especially in my generation, to know, because people in my generation do want that brands that they can tie their personal values to with the company.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So trust is really important as well.
For sure.
And I think probably not just with your generation anymore, just where we sit today in
Yeah.
an economic environment.
Mm-hmm.
How important is that, and how does a credit union start to, or Prestige start to establish trust?
For sure. I guess I would just have to say being transparent about everything. That's one thing. I actually recently listened to a podcast and they kind of talked about this, how the younger generation, or I think just everybody in general, really looks for trust and reliability. So being able to be transparent, if an issue were to arise, say, hey, we had this issue, here's what we're doing to fix it, here's how it affects you or whatnot. Just being transparent is really what people care about, and again, that trust, having that relationship with the credit union or with the member.
Yeah, I think part of what I'm getting out of that too is we're not going to pretend that problems don't happen.
Exactly.
Because they're going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Are we proactive? And if there is one, can you get someone on the phone to help you?
Mm-hmm.
And that touch point, and which leads into community a little bit too. I think, I know Prestige does this a lot. Getting out in the community, being part of the community environment. You have Preston Pig.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to reveal who that actually is. But if you have not experienced Preston Pig,
Mm-hmm.
it's a fun experience. Kids love it.
For sure.
And it's really starting to build that connection of, you are a part of my community I live in. And a lot of the account holders and members that are part of the community, they're within a 10 to 15 mile radius. So
Mm-hmm.
seeing you out there, being a part of that,
Exactly.
giving back to it, the right member that you want sees value in that.
Absolutely.
Kids are loving it. There's
Yeah.
activities for them to do. You have people who are starting out in business and their careers. Like, okay, do I open a savings account and go through there? There are other options. Let's talk about that. It is.
For
and
sure.
it leans a little bit into really financial education as well.
Yeah.
And the resources that you have to put out there for people to learn and help them make a better decision, because at the end of the day, it is their money. But how do we educate in a way that, have you thought about this, considered this, and being able to have that conversation or just have that knowledge through your website, through blogs of, have you considered this? Have you thought about that?
Mm-hmm. One thing that I'm not sure if a lot of people know about is we do have a really great partnership with Prestonwood Elementary. Each first Friday of the month, we go out to the elementary school. It's maybe like a mile down the street from our Addison location, and we hold deposit days for the kids. So some kids, show up with some cash, and we deposit that into their account, and they can, each deposit that they make, they get a little prize. It's a really great way to kind of build awareness about what a credit union is to begin with, and then to just start kids with early savings habits. That's one thing that we really believe in, is starting early.
Yeah.
Not a lot of, I guess, schools are teaching financial education. At least they weren't whenever I was in school.
Which was so many years ago, I'm sure.
So many
15, 20 years ago.
Right. But, just being knowledgeable about what a credit union is, and even if a kid's like, oh, that's just a bank, it's still like, okay, they know what a credit union is, because a lot of people are just intimidated by the words credit and union. Those two words are
Interesting.
very intimidating to some people, and to have them together, it's like, oh goodness, I need to stay away from that, but like we said, we're a nonprofit. We're here to support you throughout your financial journey. We have products and services to help you through every financial milestone that you go through. Mortgages, auto loan. We have a first-time auto buying program. We have a little piggy savings accounts for your kids under 14. We just have all these different products and services in place. We have wills and trust, for whenever you get older, or even whenever you're younger, you never know what's going to happen. And all those things we even have cryptocurrency, for people that are wanting to do crypto. So we just have so many great options for everybody, no matter what age you are.
I think it's interesting you talk about cryptocurrency too. It just shows the relevance of, it's not like it's not an old philosophy that we do it the old way. It's taking all the great things about the old way with the newest technologies and really meshing that together, but not losing sight that it's about the members. And you talk about being a nonprofit, that ties back to where the profits actually go back into the membership. It's the whole thing fits really, really well.
Exactly.
I think about, as you start to learn about finances, if you can catch them early, like you were talking about, they're not going to know what, building credit is, and getting better interest rates because you have better credit. But as you start to get into high school, for sure, and having that, starting to build that financial discipline in early, I think, really, you'll start to see the benefit of that sooner than later.
For sure.
Where, even let's just say in auto loans, we talked about that earlier. Take 1%, 2% off of your rate. Makes a big difference.
It does.
Right? And then you think about the cost you pay over time for that vehicle. Now, put it into a house. Probably your biggest investment you're ever going to make if you're going to go down that path. Those percentages really start to matter at that point. And then you learn how to leverage your debt. There's so much to it. But you're the starting point for putting that all into place. Here in Keller, there's a place called KCAL. And they have a credit union in there that is run by students.
Oh, cool.
So as you start the elementary schools, well, now we're moving into the high school side of it. And they are actually taking the deposits and doing the work. They're being supervised, of course.
Yeah.
But it takes it to a whole nother level
Absolutely.
of thinking as well. And it's bringing similar-minded teens to start depositing and learning more about it too. And they're sharing that word outside of the physical space.
Absolutely.
Which I think is really important.
Yeah, so my high school back in Louisiana, we had a credit union. It's actually the previous credit union I worked at. We had a branch inside of our high school because we were a business academy. So we took like accounting classes, entrepreneurship classes, and stuff like that. So luckily I had like pre-exposure to all of that. Also, my nanny worked in a credit union, so I kind of always knew what a credit union was. So that's a little bit different, but kind of like you said, we had people that students at the high school that would work at the credit union branch in the high school, and they were taking deposits, and they were obviously being supervised by one of the credit union employees and stuff. So that definitely drew some awareness, for sure. With high school students not knowing what a credit union is, or not knowing what kind of things they offer. So things like that are definitely beneficial. I hope one day that we get to grow enough to be able to do something like that with Prestige in one of the high schools, or even middle school. Middle school kids nowadays are tapping to pay with their parents' cards and stuff. So
I still struggle with that.
Really?
Am I doing this right?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
So there's plenty of benefits of having a branch inside of a high school or any kind of school to begin with.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we're two marketing guys, right? And we're talking about credit unions specifically. And we really haven't even talked about marketing, which I think is really important. Is marketing is so much more about, it's not really about getting a flyer or direct mail or an ad, really. That's part of the process, but it's really about who are you internally, getting that word out and explaining it in a way that people can understand it. And we've talked more about who you are and who we are versus this is what we do. Tactical type things. But I do want to ask you now.
Yeah.
So let's go to the marketing side of it. What excites you? What marketing opportunities or thoughts do you have that excite you the most? I guess like moving forward type of thing. Have you think through any of that?
Personally, what excites me the most is doing like community engagement events and stuff like that. Like, for example, we've sponsored Addison Oktoberfest
Ooh, that's a good
in the
one.
past, but since COVID, we haven't really touched on it again. And recently, Addison has reached out to us to partner again, and I kind of got with Ron, and I was like, look, I think this is something that we should really do again. Like, Addison is who we are and where we are. Like, that's our people. Like, that's where most of our membership is based. So going to that event and sponsoring that event really excites me. I mean, I've never attended Addison Oktoberfest, but I know it's huge.
It is. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, I know that, we can gain a lot of traction from that. Just, even if it's just brand awareness, like, hey, we're a credit union. We're basically a bank, but we're better than a bank, So just kind of educating people on, people will come up to our booth and be like, what do y'all got going on here? Even at the McKinney Shamrock Run, we have sponsored that the past couple of years. We've had special guest Preston show up plenty of times every year. Special guest Preston. But like, people will come up to us and be like, what are y'all? And we'd be like, this is what we are, this is who we are, this is what we offer. Our members are a part of us. We're not just here.
I think the cool thing though is like the branding side of it, right? And branding's about, am I getting the same connection feeling through every touch point? Whether I get a direct mail, I walk through the front door, I see you at a community event, whatever that is. And that is something you deliver 100% every single time. It's so rare to find that anymore, and it's rare to be able to build that culture. And financial institutions can have a lot of turnover as well, but when you start to get that culture in place, it does become a lot of fun too. And it's more about the fun than the work. There's hard work, I know there is. We all have it, and there's late hours, and there's all the stuff. But the forward-facing piece just feels like I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and that's what's really special about Prestige specifically, is that our employees have been working with us. Like, they don't really go to another financial institution. Like, we've had people that have been employed with us for 30 years. We've had people that have left but have come back. Like, multiple of our employees have done that. There's hardly ever an opening to work at Prestige. So that just says a lot about our culture and about who we are and the work that we do. We are here to serve the members, and we genuinely care about our members. We're not just there to sell stuff.
Yeah, and if somebody's watching this podcast now, I mean, if they call and ask for you, you're going to pick up the phone and talk to them.
Right.
You may have to move them to somewhere else just based on what they need, but that's kind of the point.
Exactly.
Like, you're a real person that's really there, and every person that's there is there. Same philosophy we have here as well. If you're going to call, we're going to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
It's not going to be 2 days before you hear about us. We are here to help. What problem do you have? For us, if it aligns in advertising, marketing, branding, we're going to dive into that more. But if it's outside of that, maybe it's even a business decision, we're still going to help with that too. And I think that's the key. It's, hey, I don't know what to do here. I think I need a new car. I might need a used car, but I don't really know. I need some advice or guidance, or just maybe somebody can confirm I'm thinking about it right. That's a conversation you can have.
You
can't have
we're
that
the people to call for that type of stuff. Like, at the end of the day, we're the experts in auto lending or checking accounts or just any type of banking need. We're here. Even if you're not wanting to get something from us or buy something from us, like, we will give you that advice. Even if you're not a member, like, that's the importance of the credit union field, is that like, we're just here to help. We want to help.
That so well, and it's, how do you put that into one word? How do you put that into one sentence, really, right? Where it stands out, it's so different. It's so difficult to do.
And it's hard to, like, place that on a billboard. Like, you can't, like, for example, at my previous credit union, we've had a monthly marketing campaign. So each month we would have a new marketing campaign. And we've tried, like, edgy stuff. Like, one time it was Halloween, so we came up with a promotion that was, like, witch please, like, or it was like, which please drop your bank or something like that. And then we had another one that was for Thanksgiving. It was like, give your bank the bird. And we had a big turkey on the billboard, so
yeah, I mean, it people will see that and resonate with it, and it really depends on your audience community, right? Does it connect or not?
Right.
And for a lot of them it does, and sometimes it works really well, and others be like, I don't know.
Right.
But that's understanding your audience and who do you want if you can capture, we'll go back to the youthfulness of coming out of high school, maybe college, maybe people in their starting their careers and I've got to start saving, I've got to do this, and then all the way up to the older generation. Now, the older generation, for the most part, they've been there 30, 40 years. At some point it phases out here too, so then how do you start to rebuild that cycle? It's very difficult. So going back to that authenticity and trust, which what you pointed out earlier is super important.
Exactly. Especially, that's, like I said, that podcast that I watched, they really put that into perspective for me, is that like people in my generation are really just wanting a brand that has similar values to their values and stuff like that. And I think that's something that we offer, like, just being there for them no matter which life milestone they're through. Like, we're there for them, and we're next door, like we're here for them. We're just a phone call away at the end of the day.
Yeah, I do love it. I really appreciate you sharing those insights today.
Absolutely.
They're always in your mind, right? But it's hard to get it out sometimes. And I think where a lot of companies lose sight is, especially if you're older, you think you have all the answers. Sometimes when you're youthful, you think you have all the answers. When you can bring both, I think it really pulls out good conversation, and it becomes a little more genuine. You really start to understand what the differences are, because it's hard to articulate sometimes. Then can we take this and do something with this conversation? I think we can.
Absolutely.
That's the great thing about stopping to have the conversation.
Yeah.
So one, I'm really glad you did it.
Yes.
I always love talking to you.
Absolutely.
We get off tangents sometimes, I get it, but I do love it. I learned so much from you. It's awesome. You probably don't even know I do.
I learned a lot from y'all, that's for sure.
That's awesome.
So,
well, thank you for joining us.
thank you guys for having me.
If you have any questions, we'll put you in touch with Trevor. Throw it into any podcast. It's any channel you want to be on. We're there. Drop us a comment there. We'll make sure they get answered. And if there's a different topic you'd like to know about, we'll talk about one of those in the future. If there's more you want to know about, credit unions, credit union marketing specifically, you got two experts right here that know what we're doing.
That's what we're here for.
Self-proclaimed, right?
Yes.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much.
We'll
see you next time.
That was a great episode. Did you like our guest? If you want to watch more of the Glint Standard podcast, click right here. And if you want to subscribe, click right here.